The world has changed so tremendously in work because companies now realize, because of the Great Resignation, which started in about midway through 2021 and went to towards the end of 2022, you could say maybe January, February, still had some really high numbers of people just leaving their jobs. At its height, we were seeing over 4 million people every month changing jobs, which is unbelievable. People were leveling up. Good, great for you. But what companies realized, and they've always known, but at that kind of rate, companies were like, we can't keep this up because it costs a lot of money to replace a person. Employee X leaves company ABC, and the cost of the company that they left, the cost for that company to go recruit somebody, hire them, get them trained, it's really costly. And it doesn't just cost money, it costs time. Productivity drops. Okay, let's give you an example. You know, someone leaves, it may take 3 months to replace them. Someone else has got to pick that up. That's more stress on that current employee. That has a ripple effect. And so you understand now, companies are like, we've got to do things differently. Yes, you do. Number one, why don't you create an environment that people are less likely to leave? Why don't you value people? Why don't you train them and develop them, show them a path forward? Duh. But leaders, they haven't figured that out yet. So now they're going, well, when they come to tell us they're going to leave, we need to say, don't leave. Here's a couple reasons why. Now, again, this isn't going to solve the problem. Okay, let me give you another metaphor. A woman breaks up with a guy because he's a jerk to her. Demeans her, talks down to her, insults her, ignores her, whatever. You pick the bad boyfriend, whatever, all right? The girl goes, I've had enough. I'm better than this. I'm not putting up with this. You're an absolute dog. I'm out. He goes, oh no, baby, please don't leave. I've got problems. And so what does he do? Goes and gets her flowers. Super attentive. He's like on her like a wet blanket. Right? Trying to convince her not to leave. Okay? Now, does that work? Sometimes. I guess it works sometimes, depending on how strong the girl is. I tell you what, if she was raised by me, it ain't going to work. My little Josie girl, she's going to know. He treats you with dignity and kindness. And if he does it, he's out. And if he keeps doing it, she's got 2 older brothers that are bigger, and I got myself a 2-iron that I can't hit on the golf course. I'll never get the ball in the air, Nathan. But I promise you what that 2-iron will hit. That jackleg right in the back of the head. That's what it would do, right? That's what a father would say about his daughter. You're not going to be treated that way. And so the point is, if it's a healthy human being, all of that overreaction, it's too little, too late, right? Now that's a relationship metaphor. That's how it ought to be. So now companies are going, this is if a company isn't valuing you, they aren't, maybe you've been passed over for a promotion. Maybe they haven't done a lot of training. They don't do a lot of recognition of you, whatever it is. But if companies are now going, oh, wait, don't leave, and they offer all these incentives, if the person has been treated well and they're valued by the company, it can work. Hey, you know what? We need you. You're very valuable. We want you to stay. Okay? That can work. All right? But if that person is leaving because they don't feel valued, they don't feel recognized, they haven't been rewarded for their loyalty and good work, and they've tried, and it hasn't happened, and they finally get to the moment where they begin to look, and they look, and then they find something, and somebody says to them, we would love to have you here. You see the difference? Devalued, overlooked, mistreated, whatever. Interested? Attracted? We want you invited. You see, we're talking about completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So when I read this and I see that companies are trying, this new strategy is like, we're going to up their benefits, we're going to up their pay, we're going to do this and this. I say, okay, it might work for a little bit. Now let's stay with this little metaphor, shall we? All right. So you offer them flowers, start talking to them real sweet, give them a promotion, all the things, and they decide to stay. But then the reason that they decided to leave never really gets fixed. So they've got more pay, and they've got more benefits, and they got the promotion. So what is that? It's like, okay, all right. You know what I mean? Like you talk to the girl like she's a jerk, and you show her a little diamond, and she's like, oh, okay, maybe he really does want me to stay. That's fair. As humans, we want to be wanted. But see, the job offer they just taken has made them feel wanted. And so I just don't know if this is going to work like companies think it's going to work. I think it could work temporarily. And my point is they say yes to all these things, but yet they get there and the paycheck wears off, because trust me, folks, the paycheck always wears off. It feels really good for a while, right? Like that girl, you got her a giant teddy bear, and maybe you got her some earrings, you got her some flowers, but you don't change the way you treat her. She's going to feel the same way within a few days, but now she's got jewelry, a teddy bear, and dead flowers. So do you think that I'm cynical about this approach? Yes, I'm cynical. Absolutely, I'm cynical. Are you kidding me? You think you're just going to say, all right, I'll tell you what did they offer you? What, that new place where you'd have a fresh start, and they seem very excited to have you, and they've offered you more money. What'd they offer you? Oh, hold on one second. Let me write that down. Okay. I'll tell you what. Okay. We'll do it. Put 5% on there. How sincere does that feel? Now, am I being a little cartoonish with this? Yes. But I think I'm kind of summarizing it. You know, it's like the boss in Christmas Vacation when Cousin Eddie kidnapped him from his bed. And the whole thing finally comes out that you screwed Clark over by giving him the Jelly of the Month club. And he wanted to put a pool in, and the boss feels bad. And you'll never, he goes, all right, whatever you got last year, just put 5% on it. Like, even then, he's not, like, sincere about it. And I think that's the real issue. So if you find yourself on the other end of this counteroffer, make sure you walk through this silly metaphor exercise I went through to go, wait a second. Are they just doing what they need to keep me because it benefits them? Or do they really want me because they value me? Woo! That's some good teaching right there. Because you got to know. Because after all that stuff they throw at you, if they don't treat you any differently, you're going to be right where you were when you decided to leave them the first time. Common sense, folks. I give it to you at unhealthy levels. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.